Russia owned this land for 100 years, then one day they just gave it away. Or did they? Stay with me, because this story has secret deals, a useless frozen desert, a forgotten war, and a mystery that some people still whisper about today. By the end of this video, you will never look at Alaska the same way again. This is the story of how a piece of Russia became the most American place on Earth. Long before it was American, Alaska was Russian. Not officially part of Russia, more like Russia's wild, lawless frontier. Russian hunters came here chasing one thing: fur, especially sea otter fur, worth more than gold in certain markets far away. They built small forts along the coast, cold, isolated, thousands of miles from Moscow. This wasn't a kingdom, it was a ghost colony clinging to the edge of the world. And soon Russia had a problem, a very expensive one. Alaska was far away, too far, almost impossible to defend. And Russia had just lost a brutal war closer to home, the Crimean War, leaving the empire weak and broke. The fur was running out too. The animals were hunted almost to extinction. Alaska was turning from a treasure into a burden. And there was a bigger fear. Britain, their old rival, sitting right next door in Canada. If war broke out, Russia knew one brutal truth: they could never defend Alaska. Britain could simply take it. So Russia made a quiet decision. Better to sell it to a friend than lose it to an enemy for free. And there was only one country they trusted enough to ask. Meet William Seward, the US Secretary of State, a man who believed in something almost nobody else did yet. When Seward agreed to buy Alaska from Russia, the American public laughed at him. Newspapers called it Seward's Folly or Seward's Icebox. A giant frozen wasteland bought for millions of dollars? Pure madness, they said. The final price? Just over $7.2 million, less than 2 cents per acre. People thought America had just been scammed. On March 30th, 1867, the deal was signed. Alaska now belonged to the United States. On October 18th that year, the Russian flag came down in Sitka forever, and the American flag rose over land that used to belong to the Tsar. Russia's chapter in North America was over, but America's story in Alaska was just beginning. For years, people believed Seward had made a huge mistake, an icy wasteland, empty and useless. Then the land started talking. In the late 1800s, rumors began. Whispers along frozen rivers. Something was hiding beneath the ice: gold. The Klondike Gold Rush sent thousands of dreamers racing north, risking everything for a chance at fortune. Suddenly, the useless icebox wasn't so useless anymore, and gold was only the beginning. Deep underground, Alaska was hiding something even bigger: oil. Massive oil fields, enough to reshape the entire American economy decades later. Fish, timber, rare minerals, untouched wilderness. Alaska wasn't a mistake, it was one of the greatest deals in history, hiding in plain, frozen sight. But here's where the story turns dark again. Between Alaska and Russia, there's a strip of ocean so narrow you can almost see one side from the other. It's called the Bering Strait. Right in the middle sit two small islands. One belongs to the United States, one belongs to Russia. They are only 2.5 miles apart, but because of the international date line running between them, they are almost 21 hours apart in time. Stand on one island, look across the water, and you are staring at tomorrow, or yesterday. Locals even gave them a nickname: Tomorrow Island and Yesterday Island. During the Cold War, this tiny gap became one of the most watched borders on Earth. American radar stations stood guard in the freezing dark, watching Russian skies just miles away. Alaska wasn't just land anymore, it was America's front line, its early warning system, facing its greatest rival, just across the water. And even today, some people still ask the uncomfortable question: does Russia want it back? Every few years, the rumor resurfaces online. Petitions, jokes, even half-serious political statements from Russian officials. Some people online have jokingly signed petitions asking to return Alaska to Russia. It always goes viral, it always makes headlines. But here's the truth: the sale in 1867 was legal, final, and complete. No treaty, no loophole, no secret clause waiting to be discovered. Alaska is American, permanently. Still, that tiny shadow of mystery, that what if, is part of why this story refuses to be forgotten. Today, Alaska isn't a frozen mistake. It's wild, massive, mysterious, and untamed. The last true frontier of the United States. A land Russia once ruled. A land America almost refused to buy. A land that turned out to be worth more than anyone could have imagined. So the next time someone tells you Alaska was a useless purchase, tell them the real story. The story of an empire too weak to hold on, a politician too stubborn to give up, and a frozen land that changed the fate of two nations forever. If this blew your mind, you know what to do. Subscribe, because next time, we're uncovering a secret even darker than this one.